Okay, I'm going to start this video from scratch. This is installing and using Audacity on macOS. I'm using a Mac Pro 5.1. This is a 15-year-old machine, but it's maxed out. Maxed out with the CPUs, the memory. It's got AMD RX 660 XT video card. I'm using a 4K display. So the first thing, let's download. So here's Audacity searched. I'm going to click Mac. Now it's going to give a number of choices. And it's doing that because what I've discovered is the Muse that makes the sheet music program, they actually bought the Audacity project, but they're maintaining it as open source and still free. So I think that's really great. That's kudos to Muse. So they recommend to download their installer via the Muse Hub. I have not tried that, but it's recommended, so that's probably what I'm going to do. The other is the Universal DMG. The DMG is an Apple, it's kind of like an ISO file. You download it, when you click it, it actually mounts that. And then you can look inside and find the application. And in that install, you just kind of drag the Audacity icon into the program files, into the applications. The other is a universal package. That's very typical for a lot of Apple applications. They have a PKG file. You click it and you have to go through the licensing and it'll install. The Apple Silicon, that's if you have an M processor. M1, M2, M3, M4. Any of the newer Apple devices from the MacBook Pro, the Studio, the little Mac Mini, all of the new ones, I would say for the last 4 years, are using the ARM64 Apple Silicon or M processor. Then you've got the x86 64 DMG. This might be for an older Mac OS that was 32-bit. So this is kind of compatible with 3264, but for anything that's, well, I mean, this is a 15-year-old system and it's 64-bit. So you're really going all the way back to not even the core. Well, maybe the core, the mono, core, duo. But once you got to any of the i3, i5, i7, or any of the Mac Pros would use Xeon processor. Those are all 64-bit. So, okay, I am going to try the Audacity installer. And, okay, it also is a DMG file. So if I go down here in my downloads and I double click the DM, and okay, I see. So you install the Muse Hub by dragging this into the application. Then you use the Muse Hub as a way to install the Muse program or the application, Audacity or whatever. So I don't really want to do that. I already have Muse, and I have Muse 3, Muse 4. I have older versions of Muse just for compatibility. So I'm going to kill that, and I'm just going to send, well, first I'm going to unmount the Muse Hub, and I'm just going to move this back to the trash. And I'm going to go back and I'll get the universal DMG. And this here, thank you for downloading Set Up the Cloud. Ignore that. They want you to set up a cloud account so that you can put your files in the cloud. And you don't need to do that. You're going to do everything on your local, and then when you export your files, you're going to export them to my cloud. So I'm just going to kill that. Alright, so then we'll double click that DMG and you're presented with this. Let me bring it up here, right in the middle of the screen. You just drag this icon to the application, and what happens is you see there's an Audacity icon in the applications. So I can close this and unmount that DMG. Now we're ready to run Audacity. Double click. So it's verifying the Audacity app because it's downloaded from the internet. So it gives you this, are you sure you want to open it? And the answer is open. Okay, Audacity is opening. And what I want to do is I want to grab this and move it up so that's easy for me to start it. It's like here is Cubase 10, 10.5, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got Studio One 5, 6, 7. I have Logic Pro, GarageBand, then Audacity, Reaper. So those are all of my DAW programs. And of course here you've got MuseScore 3 and MuseScore 4. I'm not sure if they already have a MuseScore 5, but now I tried to completely remove Audacity, and I followed some steps I found on the internet, but I couldn't find any of the files that it was talking about. Okay, now it's searching for plugins. I need to cancel this. The reason, I have over 1,000 plugins. Okay, app updates. Audacity notifies you when there's a new version. You can turn this off. I'll leave it on. Usage info. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I'll just accept and continue. And I don't want to complete this cloud. So I'm going to say don't show this again and say OK. Now let me open this up a little bit more. And we've got the toolbar up here. So the first thing I'm going to go to is Preferences. Because I'm on a Mac, I'm going to use Core Audio. And I'm going to select my playback device. Currently it's an aggregate device. I use that when I'm using a DAW because I have a multiple interface. But in this case, I'm going to simulate using a Yeti, which is a USB microphone. So I'm going to use my USB mic, which is the AT200 or 2005 USB. So that's my playback, and my recording device is also that. Now I understand you said your headphones are also USB, so they would have whatever the USB device is for your headphones. You're going to select that here. But in my case, my microphone has a 3.5 millimeter jack on the back where I'm plugging in my Sony studio monitor headphones. Okay, next, recording. My microphone only supports one channel, so I'm selecting here mono. And I want to record 48K, and that's going to be my default sample rate. And the default sample format, I want 32-bit float. Now the buffer, I think I'm going to make a separate video how to adjust the buffer, and that's so that after you finish overdubbing, that overdub will be in time with the original tracks without some latency or delay. So this is a way to compensate, but I'll show you in another video how to do that. Okay, next. Oh, okay. The 100 milliseconds is the buffer length. That means you've got 1/10 of a second of buffering, which is okay. The other is a latency compensation. That's what I'm going to make the separate video on. Okay, so that's audio settings. I'm going to go to playback, check really quick. There's nothing you need to change here. Recording, you definitely want to make sure to hear other tracks while recording. That means overdub. And audible input monitoring, I don't like using that because there's a delay, a latency when I'm monitoring. What I want to do is I want to hear my headphones, the backing track, and then I can, if I was a singer, I just take my headphone off a little bit, and then I would hear my own voice as I overdub. Record on a new track. I like this because every time you stop and you hit record, it automatically creates a brand new track. And detect dropouts, we'll leave that. We don't want to change that. There's no MIDI devices. Quality, I think the default is best quality, so we leave that. The interface is just what it looks like. And everything else, I don't believe we need to change anything. So then we'll click OK. All right, now I've already selected my USB microphone as my recording device. So if I come up here and see record meter, I click this and I say enable silent monitoring. And it's asking me, the OS is asking, do I allow access to the microphone? And of course I say yes, okay. Now what you see up here is a meter as I'm speaking. And I can adjust the record level here with this little circle thingy. Pull down, 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 or pull up, 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 up. For the Yeti is extremely sensitive. So on the back of the microphone, there's a gain control. Turn that all the way down. There's also a mode or type. The default setting is the first one, which is stereo. And you don't want to do a stereo recording. You want to click over to the icon that looks like an upside down heart. That's cardioid. A typical microphone, if it's not an Omni, and you don't want to use Omni either. If you use an Omni, you're going to pick up too much room sound, which could be the reason you're hearing too much room in your recording. So switch that to the cardioid setting. And what that does is you concentrate the microphone sensitivity in the front of the mic. And in the back of the mic, it's rejected. It's less on the sides. That's the cardioid shape. Now, backing tracks. I am here in the cloud in your folder, your Rob work. And here is the middle of the road mix with no harmonica. So I'm going to download that. So I select it and I choose download. Then from my download folder, here, I'm going to take this file and drag it. So here is the middle of the road, your track without any harmonica. Here's the backing track brought into Audacity. If I hit play,
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3.
you can adjust the playback volume. Again, with the circle thingy. Turn it down, turn it up. Set the playback level so it's comfortable, not too loud. You don't want it leaking out of the phones. Okay, we can. Let's find our. Oh, okay, that was a pretty good guess. Let me go back just a little bit. This is your lead in to when you're going to overdub. So, test, test, test. We don't have any enable silent monitoring. Okay, there's my level. You want to really keep it under minus 12. When you get to minus 12, test, test, that's okay. But if you get over that, it starts to turn yellow and then it's red. I have a pop filter, but I didn't put it in front of the mic. I put it over the top because I have a ceiling fan. But anyway, we're positioned where I want to punch in. So just hit record. Testing, test. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm recording. The level's a little low, but I've already got the recording level maxed out here. This would not be the case with the Yeti. The Yeti, if it really looked like this, then you could go in the back of the mic and turn the gain up a little. But that has not been the experience of people I know that have used the Yeti. The vocals, the gain's turned all the way down, and the level of recording is fine within the Audacity. Okay, so that's one take. If you don't want that take, if it's a test, just come here and click the little X. It deletes the track. It's gone. And then we can do again. Okay, this is first take. It's a test. Test, test, test. And stop. You want to do another take? What I recommend is mute that so it won't play at the same time, and hit record again. Okay, that's the second take. Mute it. Do a third take. Okay, this is our third take. It's audio 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you wanted to hear that take with the mute, just don't mute it and hit play. Okay, this is our third take. It's audio 3. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, you can play it at a louder volume. But you don't need to mix. I need your raw individual tracks. This is our third take. It's audio 3. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we come to the export. Mute the backing tracks and unmute all the tracks you're going to export. And come up here to your file, Audacity, export audio. We don't care about the file name. Note the folder. It's exporting into my username documents folder. I want mono files, 48K, 32-bit float. Now I've already done this. That's why it's set. I think the default was stereo, and they were 44.1, and they were probably 16-bit PCM. But make sure you export mono, 48K, and choose 32-bit float. The other thing that's a default is entire project. Don't do that. Choose multiple files. This will open up this dialog at the bottom. You want to have tracks. Use the label. That's the audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. That's the way those are going to be named. Now, because I've done this before, I already have audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, audio 4. And the reason I'm redoing this section was because the Audacity output was not being recorded into my OBS. It's because I need to choose a special black hole plugin. So I'm going to overwrite existing files, but normally you wouldn't do that. So I'm going to choose export, and it's telling me it successfully exported the following 3 files: audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. Okay. Now if you want to save the project, you can come up and save project and give it, save project as, so you can give it a name. That way you can open it later if you want to overdub more tracks at a different time. It's just a good idea to save the project, which I didn't do. And then if you go to your documents, you're going to see these are the ones that I just recorded, 1, 2, 3. So you would select those 3, and in your stem folder or whatever, I'm going to drag these up into the browser, and then ding 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 ding, it's created these 3 stems. Now I'm not going to leave them here to confuse anybody, so I'm going to delete. But that's basically the exporting. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here and upload that so you can watch it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference counting track. So I'm going to make a track in my DAW where I have like the intro there, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm going to give 10 or 20 seconds of the click and me counting. Then you're going to import that into an empty project and overdub, trying to match my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, as you're recording a dub track. Then you're going to listen back and you're going to see how far off, how delayed you are, and then adjust that latency compensation. This trial and error. You're going to record again with a different latency figure until you are able to record and your recorded track, 1, 2, 3, 4, is exactly in time. So this video is going to be a big help, I think. Number one, you don't want to make a mix when you export. That means you're going to mute the backing track. Number two, make sure your microphone is configured properly. Turn the gain all the way down. Make sure you're in a cardioid mode. Then you can go in, and when you're selecting the record device, it should be a mono. Now I know the Yeti default is a stereo microphone, so maybe that's why it doesn't show and you had it set wrong. Or if you set it to Omni, the Omni's going to pick up sound from all around the mic. And that's going to lead to a lot of unnecessary room sound. I'm recording here. I don't really have a treated room. It's a living room. So I've got couch and everything to absorb, curtains, blah, blah, blah. And our singer is just like sitting at a desk with her laptop recording, but she's doing these settings of the mic. The gain's all the way down, selected the cardioid pattern, and recording mono tracks. And that's really the ticket. I think once you do that and you can get the level where you're not going to hit any peaks, but it's, 60% or so, but it's perfect, especially because we're recording in 32-bit float. It gives us a really 32-bit dynamic range is huge. So I'll get this off to you. We really need some way to chat in real time. In Taiwan, we usually use this application called Line, Line, and we can communicate in line, either by texting, or you can make a voice or video call. You can have group calls. It's like for John and Lori and I, we have a group meeting call usually once a month or so. We catch up on basically what's the progress of our, the songs we're working on, and as we get completed and they're uploaded, we need to choose new songs. So each of us, the three of us, and actually now we've brought Ben in. Ben is a male singer in Michigan, and we'll each choose a song that we'd like to do. Of course, that's assuming, if I choose a song, it's one that I know Laurie could do. And then we start that process of creating a cover. So anyway, that's it. I'm using OBS. So I'm hoping that this did work. You can see my OBS window here. I'm in the corner. Here's my desktop. And I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to send this off to you right now. Okay? It's great to be working with you, Rob. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, in the future. Especially you want to do piano and stuff like that. Wow, that's really cool.